today we are going to discuss how I sort of like ground myself or root myself. So definitely in life, you're gonna come to moments where like you're a little bit lost, or like you sort of forget what it is you were wanting to begin with. And that definitely happens, especially with everything going on in the world. Social media, like the constant barrage of images, like this is what it should be, this is what you should want, this is what you should obtain for. Sometimes like our actual real life wants get lost in that. And what, is like important in our core, like what's spiritually important, what is mentally important, like it gets sort of lost in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. And let's be realistic. Sometimes what's spiritually necessary and like the cornerstone of what is important, it's not always exciting, right? It's not. So this is just something I do in my techniques. So when I feel like a little lost or a little frustrated, or some whatever it is, like some sort of like image that's sort of impressed on me for a while, like I sort of start getting lost in that. Like this is what I do to like bring me back and like realize like, hey, you actually have, like I currently have what I prayed for a really long time. And like I said, it's not exciting, right? It's but it's real, and it's hard to always have that rise above all of the sparkle and all of the pizzazz and all of the excitement of something that isn't necessarily long lasting. So story time a little bit. When I was growing up, when I was a little girl, I didn't want to be a princess. I mean, maybe, probably, but like I didn't dream of like being a princess, or I feel like a vet or something like that. Like what I wanted, what I dreamed of, was having a normal family. And I think as I grew up, like normal changed to loving family. So for a really long time, like that's all I wanted. And for about 5 years, I was a single parent, and I just felt really guilty. Like I remember putting my son in his crib, and he was, a little tater tot at that time, and I just felt guilty. Like I wasn't giving him what I wanted so badly as a child. Like he wasn't gonna have that, and I felt really guilty, and I felt like I was just an awful mom. And I, at the time, wasn't cognizant enough and able enough to like do it the right way. So I was just grasping at straws, and I did it the wrong way for a long time, of trying to find that happiness and get myself to my personal highest level, right? So that happened for a long time, and I had to grow and learn and go beyond those mistakes, and I have. Took me a while, but I'm here. And it's I see this like saying float around social media all the time, like I'm thankful because I finally have what I prayed for. And it's true, like that's my truth now. And it's not perfect, it's not Hallmark worthy, it's not going to be on any sort of Lifetime film, but what I have right now in terms of a loving husband who is also my best friend, through really healthy, wonderful, spirited children, and we all live in a home that's filled with a whole lot of laughter, a whole lot of love and kisses and cuddles and excitement. Certainly lots of excitement. And like I have that, and that's what I wanted for so long. But that's my everyday. So sometimes I forget like that this is what I want. This is, and I have it, and to be grateful for it and to be thankful for it, and to just be able to sit in that and really, it's like it's like a coat. So if you're sitting in your house and you wear a coat, and you step outside and it's cold on, it's, you know, not as warm as it is supposed to feel because you got used to that. Like that became your baseline. And not that that's a bad thing, but this is kind of the technique I use in the visual, oh, Trish, excuse me, coffee break. This is the technique. I can't speak. What is this? This is what I do in my mind to ground myself. So what I do is I actually think of myself as a child, and I go back to small Trish, baby Trish, cute toddler Trish, and I think about what I really wanted, like what my soul and my heart yearned for. And I put that picture and I also blend it with my reality. So, you know, I have baby Trish dreams, I have my reality, and I blend the two. So in Dream Trish, we live in a hobbit hole. Not kidding you, we live in a hobbit hole. And if you've ever seen the movie Lord of the Rings, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. We live in the Shire, no joke. I don't know if we're hobbits per se, but this is where we live. And there's a fireplace, very old wooden floors, like a fur rug of sorts. There's a rocking chair. I'm sitting in the rocking chair. My children are around my feet. I'm telling a bedtime story. My husband is on the ground with them, and I actually have flour on my cheek because in my dream we just got done making cookies as a family. So my reality is, you know, the children in this technique are my children. The husband in this technique is my husband. I am myself, and while we don't have a fireplace or a rocking chair, we do tend to sit down together on the floor and sort of cuddle at the end of the day. We'll read a book or we'll have a family time movie. So it's sort of this blended technique where this is what I see and how I kind of bring myself down and realize again, like, okay, so I have what I prayed for, you know, probably 10 years. You know, I was given this beautiful gift, and I'm not necessarily very religious, but I find myself very spiritual. So, you know, one way or another, I definitely think that, you know, my husband is my soulmate, and that, you know, I wasn't really supposed to be with anyone but him. I don't think anyone else could handle me but him anyway, regardless. So there's that. So like, we came together, we found each other, we have these children, and we're really happy. And it's not perfect, and definitely sometimes we fight and I want to throw him out a window, but you know, if you know my husband, that's relatable. And you know, it's not always super fancy feeling, and you know, I can't even tell you the last time we went out to like eat or something. And life is a little crazy, and it's, like I said, it's not as exciting the way it used to be when we were dating or whatever, before we had all these kids. But this dream that I've essentially put on a pedestal since I was a little girl has come true. And I need to be able to sit in that in times where I'm a little lost. And for whatever reason, just sitting down, closing my eyes and seeing this in my head play back like a film has made a really huge impact on my ability to find happiness in the everyday things. When it's a little rough, when I'm a little exhausted, and I, you know, sometimes we'll look out the window and be like, oh man, like if I didn't get married, like what would my life be like? I think everyone has those moments. It doesn't mean you wish that was the reality, but there's definitely moments like that where you get a little lost in the commotion. And when it's really loud, this is what I do to quiet it all down, settle down, and just sort of get back to that that baseline of like, all right, look, it could be a lot worse. Sure, it could be better, but I feel like you can't get lost in it could be better, and I wish it was this. You have to really be able to sit in the happiness that you have, that you can hold on to every single day, and this really helps me with that and really has opened my mind up to a lot. And this is beyond just like my relationship with my husband. This has really opened up my head, heart, and soul, and just how I deal with, you know, other people, other situations, you know, where I'm way more relaxed and way more just sort of at peace and at ease and like not so bothered by almost anything. There's, you know, at this point in my life with doing this and just becoming very immersed in the happiness of my family and the love I have for my family, it's put me in a place in my mind where there's not a lot that gets through this to me. There's just not. And I feel like that's part of it. Like that's sort of like this really weird life lesson that took me probably like 28 years to learn, where it was like, certainly you can wish that something over here was better, or, you know, that I'll use my husband and I for an example. Like, sure, I wish my husband and I can go out on a date once a month even. Oh my gosh, that would make me so happy. I wish that was my reality. Fair enough. But also, you get lost in that a little bit, where you almost like, I don't want to say you pout about it, but sort of like, it's like this weird like, oh, well, I don't have this. It's not necessarily attainable right now because of what's going on. I can't really control everything that's going on that would then result in us not being able to go out the way that I would like and find enjoyable. So now I'm sort of sad about that, because there's variables outside of my control that I can't redirect to bring me this one little thing. So instead of worrying about all these other variables, you have to internalize and say, okay, well, what can I do to facilitate this happiness in another way? So what my husband and I have done is we put the kids to bed and we have indoor dates, and we will get like a pizza and we'll sit on the floor and we'll, you know, I love ginger beer, so like I'll go get some ginger beer and we'll have ginger beer and we'll have a pizza. Or the other night, actually, I made like really fancy so simple. I made really fancy sandwiches and got some like exotic fruit and ginger beer, and it was just like, we just sort of hung out, you know, ate some fun food that we normally don't, had some fruit that we normally wouldn't reach for. We watched like a Netflix comedy special, and like it facilitated the same happiness, right? It might not have had all the excitement of, you know, getting dolled up and going out and having a night on the town, but the happiness is there, and that's what's important. And I feel like if you can dial it back and you can take a problem and you can pinpoint the variables that are out of your control, and then focus on the variables that are in your control to then find a resolution like that, then you are going to be a lot happier in life. You're going to be able to ground yourself a lot better in life, and you're going to like root down and like really be able to have a better vision of what actually is important and what actually is meaningful in life. Anyway, that's kind of it, guys. I've been hearing my Irish twins out there having a party, so it is probably maybe lunchtime-ish, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave you with this. I don't know if it made a lot of sense. I definitely ramble, and hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everyone that is watching. I appreciate your view and your click. If you have watched more than one of these, hey, just subscribe. I don't know, why not, right? Anyway, I'll see you guys later, and I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.